In a realm where shadows dance with light, through the whispering woods at night, secrets echo through the air, meta mysteries everywhere. Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound, journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind, leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align, in the meta mysteries you'll find.
Welcome to Meta Mysteries, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today is a very special day for multiple reasons. So we have decided that this episode is going to be the very first Meta Mysteries YouTube episode. For the longest time, we've just been saving the video for our Patreon subscribers, and so for any of those that can't, go over to Patreon or anything like that, then we have YouTube. And the deal with YouTube is just we're gonna, if you want to be able to watch or listen to the shows a week later, then you'll be able to get it over at YouTube. If you want it the day of release, we're gonna have it over at Patreon. And of course, there's still a lot of value in Patreon. It's completely commercial free. You get the shows a couple of days in advance. If you're watching on YouTube, you're getting it a week plus in advance on Patreon. And it's the best way to be able to support the show. And also, we do still have Wonder Wednesday live show every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. We go live with what we call The One, and that's just the listeners. And, we understand that separation is an illusion. Time is an illusion. You're me, I'm you, the universe is all of us. It's just always mystical up in this biznatch. So,
those are some of my favorite episodes, dude. Like, there's just times where I feel like I need my people, and then they show up, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know, it's fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, the last live we did was crazy with Cassandra Van Zant, the psychic. She gave everybody a psychic reading. It was like 10, 11, 12 different psychic readings on one episode. So that's just a little bit of a taste of what we try to give the people who are supporting us on Patreon that show up for the live shows is fun little guest appearances like that. We've had Lord Byron Jester. We've had Electro Nick. I'm sure the list will continue moving forward. So if you want to be able to support us, that is the best way. If not, and even if you are a Patreon subscriber, we would love your subscription on YouTube and help support us that way. It is a brand new channel. We're just building it from scratch. And we're just trying to kind of present the mysticism, the magic, the witchcraft, the esoteric, the everything divinely inspired is now on YouTube. So pretty excited about that.
That'll be cool. Yeah, and if there's like an episode that you feel like somebody else would be interested in, just share the whole video. Just send it over to them, and be like, check this out and see what they think.
Yeah.
That'll help us out a great deal.
No doubt. And if you're somebody that maybe religion isn't your flavor, maybe you're just now getting into the rabbit hole that is spirituality and New Age philosophy, New Age mysticism, kind of all encompassing. There's not one religion or spiritual overview that we tend to more than any. It's more of the New Age kind of mentality where you incorporate a little bit of everything. We always like to say it's the what is it called? The bumper sticker, the coexist bumper sticker.
Yeah, there it
right?
is.
And kind of just incorporate everything a little bit. And it's interesting. I understand how people might look at that and think that that's silly, but, and you might think it's cherry picking and this doesn't apply to that. But I promise you, we've been doing this show coming up on 2 years now. And we have applied different modalities within our understanding of the esoterica, our understanding of magic and witchcraft and all these different spiritual practices. And we have found that if you take a little bit from here, you take a little bit from there, it just makes it more impactful, more magical in that sense. And we're actually people who believe that that's probably what most religions around the world, how they eventually got their practices. So it may seem new age, it may seem woo woo right now, but I can imagine how, most religions and most spiritual practices from back in the day, they probably pulled a little bit from each one of them too, right?
Yeah, dude. And as far as the, you mentioned about the cherry picking, that just kind of like, it bugs me a little bit, because I feel like we're supposed to be doing the things that we feel benefit us the most, and I just, especially nowadays, it's either you're this or you're that, or you're an iPhone or you're an Android, or you're a red or a blue, and it's like, that's not what we're supposed to be doing here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it just makes everything so limited, and that's not what we are as human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever you divide, they conquer. We're not about the divide and conquer mentality or the tactics. We believe that we can all succeed and ascend and learn a little bit more, open up our third eyes a little bit more whenever we come together and learn from other philosophies and everything that there is to learn. You shouldn't have the blinders on whenever it comes to receiving spiritual information if it's going to help you in your spiritual understanding and your spiritual practices. And that leads us to our episode today. Okay, This is going to be a super fun one because, we all have pets. I mean, I've had cats, I've had dogs, I have dogs, I have turtles, and anybody who's ever done mushrooms or any kind of psychedelic and been around their dogs or been around their animals, whatever the case may be, it is beyond, like, that there's something extra going on there. Now, if you have a cat, it's said that they can see into the other dimensions, and that's what they're always staring at or hissing at or, jumping at in the middle of the night. I think dogs can probably perceive other perceptions as well.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's funny, as soon as we're done meditating, I'll go out into the living room, and that's the only time that my cat's like, hey, what's up? That's the only time my cat's like, wanting anything to do with me. But I remember, though, when we were doing mushrooms, remember Hero? He was just staring at us, and we were like, what is he looking at,
Yeah,
I think he knew what was up.
Yeah, I remember we were tripping together, and you were sitting in the recliner, and I was laying on the couch. And your dog Hero came and laid next to me. And for some reason, it was a super mystical experience. And I remember you telling Hero, like, oh, yeah, get up in there and just like get comfortable and wedged up together. And just like, I don't know. I thought I never forget that because it was just so funny. But there might be something to this. You think about the witches and the black cats. You think about certain, like druids and stuff like that, encompassing nature. And I mean, if your pets aren't part of nature, then I don't know what is, right?
Yeah, they're definitely not separate, dude. I mean, we did an episode on spirit animals. Animals they play a very big part in the subconscious, and just in spirituality in general. And so, I mean, let's get into it, dude.
Let's do that. Now, there is something that I did want to share. Actually, the first thing that I wanted to share is from your boy, Optimistic Banks, up in here. You already know he had something to say about it.
There he goes. I would love to get him on a live one day. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be awesome. And I know that the one would love that as well. So this is just a little clip of what he thinks as far as, possibly working with your animals to perform some kind of mystic act or just, their potential energy that they could have on your meditations and stuff like that. So
all right,
let's give old Optimistic a listen.
Let's do it.
Have you ever had a connection with an animal that was so strong? Almost like it was another version of you. In mysticism, we call this your familiar. When you bring an animal into your home or just taking care of an animal and you name it, you're actually giving it a new level of consciousness, a new level of awareness. And you are helping this animal in its reincarnation cycle. And perhaps in a past life, this was actually you. And someone gave you a new level of awareness. So next time you reincarnate, you incarnate to a human or to the next level.
All right, Optimistic, dude. He's always on some
shit.
He is. Yeah, dude. So I heard that he had mentioned the idea of your pets being your familiars. Could they be your guardians? Could they be your ancestors? Could they be your guides in some kind of way? You know, it certainly feels like that, especially if, you know, you get a pet out of nowhere. Maybe they show up in on your porch or in your yard, or maybe, you know, a relative, you know, is looking for somebody to take on the care for your pet, or whatever the case may be. It always seems that the pets find you without you going and searching for them. At least that's been the case for me. You know, with my cat was the same way. It was a black cat, Juju. My dog, whose name is Fatty, he's a mix between he's been a mix between a wiener dog and a boxer. My sister, you know, she had an accidental breed over there, and so that's why it's a weird breed like that.
What's going on over there, dude?
I was just like, I guess he's mine. You know, I was there to help her, like, with the birthing process and stuff like that. And as soon as he came out the womb, I was like, I already know he's gonna be mine, you know. And the same thing with my other dog, Scout. He's a golden lab. We were over at my sister's house one weekend, and there was just this little puppy just wandering around. Nobody know where he came from. He was actually wandering down a road with one of my sister's neighbors, and my sister said, "Oh my God, that's such a cute puppy. Where'd you get him? Or how old is he?" or something like that. And he goes, "I don't know. This dog just started following me out of nowhere. I started walking a couple miles back, and he's just still here." And so, you know, just little things like that where it seems like they enter your life at very peculiar times and for a reason. So, could there be something to the animal familiars? What do you think, Sean?
I think there's no accidents. You know, as I think back to all the pets that we've had, you know, my wife and I, since we've been together, every single one of them, we never had to pay anything. You know, my sister, her pit bulls had puppies. Actually, it was a pit bull and a husky mix, and so her dogs had puppies, and she was like, "Hey, you know, my dogs had puppies. Come and check them out." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And it was almost like I didn't have a choice, you know, like I just felt like drawn to go do that. And of course we picked one up, and that was Hero, you know. And so a lot of the times that happens, it feels like there's no choice in the matter. It's like, this is just what it is, and it's already almost been set, you know, to happen. And so same with Bear, you know, he was a wedding gift, you know, from one of my other friends, and you know, and he was just like the fucking, like the best dog ever, you know, and it was just like, you know, and so I don't know, I feel like these things are meant to happen, especially with your animals.
R.I.P. Bear, such a good dog.
Yeah, he was the best, dude.
So, all right, well, let's figure out this animal familiar kind of aspect here. We got a little video right here, and it's less than a minute long, so let's see.
Ever wondered why a wizard has a black raven, an alchemist, a red salamander, and a witch her black cat? It's not just about aesthetics. Welcome to the mystical realm of familiars, where animals are more than companions. They are magic workers' assistants, guardians against malevolent entities. They lend their wild instincts to aid in rituals, spellcasting, and astral projection work. In the spirit world, animals are revered as potent totems, possessing unique powers that guide us when we connect with their oversoul. Picture a hawk, circling overhead, bestowing upon us the gift of strategic foresight, or a lion, his deep roar echoing majesty and primal courage. So next time you look at your pet, remember, they might just be more than a cute face. They could be your guide, your protector, your assistant in unlocking the mysteries of the universe. Share in the comment.
Dude, awesome, right? Like,
dude, I mess with that hard, you know. I mean, there's been times where, you know, I'm like maybe feeling a little bit of anxiety, you know, and then my dog Lola will just come up and sit, like she'll be super close to me, and then she'll nudge herself even closer, like as if she can even get any closer. And like, I don't know, in those moments when I'm feeling that way, all of a sudden I'm just feeling a little bit better, you know. It's almost like she knew something was off, and then she decided to come sit next to me, you know. I don't know.
There's
something to it.
I think that they're around to raise the vibe and around to protect you, you know, in other spiritual realms. Like, we know that there are multiple dimensions to this place, and we also know that our capabilities are limited. We have, your five senses. Some people like to talk about the sixth sense with your intuition, and that's about as far as it goes for most people, right? Unless you're like a sage or a guru or a yogi or somebody who has been so perceptually connected to this etheric realm. But for the most part, that's why you would have a cat or a dog or maybe a bird or something like that, because they have the senses to be able to do that. Like whether it's their high intensity hearing or maybe their sensitivity to feel and all the other, like the other senses that are heightened. We know that dogs, for example, amazing at hearing, right? Like with them big old ears. So, yeah, dude, I think that it's pretty awesome. There's there's
another layer to that as far as what you were just saying, cats and dogs, like their vision is a bit different than ours. Like I feel like they don't get quite as many of the details, and so the other senses are what, really get lifted up, and then they're able to, it's almost like when someone is blind, they don't have that sense to see what's going on around them. So they hear everything, and they can really paint a picture and understand what's happening just because their sense of hearing is just like elevated, and so maybe there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, I think that it would have to, and so there is one more video that I did want to play. There's not really any sound to it, so we're just going to read it here, but I thought that it was pretty interesting. It says, have you ever had a reading done for your pet? Talking about tarot, right?
Right.
Look at the cute little Cocker Spaniel. But it says, this is Sheldon, and he has a message for the pet collective. He uses his nose to pick a card, and then I turn it over and interpret the message. It says, animals get bored just as humans do. Your pet needs a change in routine and needs more social interaction with you and other animals. So there you go. They got like a pet deck too, which is pretty sweet. But you can do it with any regular kind of deck. This is a traditional deck, with the 78 cards. They pulled the Magician, but this one's cool because it's
got the Magician.
Yeah, it says it's Nostradamus. But it says the animal. So what she did is that she allowed she spread out her tarot cards and she allowed her dog to nudge his nose onto which card to pick. And there's many different ways to go about it. That's just the way that she did it. But this one is being interpreted as the animal is needing adventure. It is sick of the familiar and wants to explore new areas. It wants to learn more and be involved more. So that is crazy, right? It says a new park or a new place to walk, a new toy, a new cage if your pet is in one, new treats, change in routine is needed, which makes sense. If you pull the tarot, how would you interpret that? If your pet pulled the magician, right? It's always something. It's always something like that, So you can interpret it the same way that you would interpret it for yourself or for somebody else. Put it in dog terms, put it in cat terms, put it in whatever animal kind of terms, and you'll be pretty shocked. There are animal interpreters out there who are able to connect with your pet, and sometimes all they need is a name and the dog breed, and it's oh my god, it is insane. Some of the pets are literally being cured of certain illnesses or certain joint pains or something like that. Maybe they're just throwing up a lot whenever they eat something specific
allergic to a particular food. I was watching this actually, and there was a psychic or an interpreter, like you were saying, and the interpreter was he says that he doesn't like it when you put your shoes up or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I've been putting my shoes up because he's been getting into them and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? The dog's actually communicating to this person.
And that's the thing. And that's just first of all, it's the reader's ability to connect to the all. And the all would obviously encompass the animal's soul or the animal's consciousness or whatever you want to call it. But it's so interesting because, look, if you can do it with humans, and it has been proven time and time again, are there a lot of fraudsters out there who are just trying to make a quick buck? Absolutely. We're not trying to stick up. We're not raising some kind of red flag and saying believe all psychics or hashtag all psychics matter or something like that. It's more so a good psychic whenever you see one. And one that we love very much is Cassandra Van Zant. She is absolutely tapped in. And so, you know, it's nice to have people like that who can tap in. I wonder if she could do an animal reading. I don't know if she's ever tried that.
I would imagine she could, you know, maybe she doesn't have practice with it, but I imagine with just what she already can do and what we've seen her do, I imagine she can, let me hear the dog's name and let me look at the dog, and I bet you she can pull something.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. But so just the idea of pulling tarot cards for your pets. Some might see this as blasphemy, but other mystics and other sages and people who are on the fool's journey here, and you're just learning how to discover new things without judgment, and kind of looking at the world in a very new way. It's interesting right here. This is actually from a website called psychics.guru. Is it psychics.guru? That's cool.
Yeah.
I like how new websites nowadays, you can just put dot whatever. It doesn't even have to be com or net or whatever it was. It's pretty cool. Yep. But this one right here, it says tarot readings and pets. Reading tarot and psychics for pets is becoming a thing, even though they cannot communicate with you verbally as you read it. So you will not understand how they feel and what they have to say about it. However, pet tarot readings are happening more often. And even though you will intuitively sense what is happening with your pet and what your pet is telepathically saying to you, there's only so much you can understand what they are telling you. That is why reading tarot for pets sounds like it could be a pointless and ridiculous thing. However, it is not. It is far from futile and stupid. So can you give tarot readings for pets? As you just learned, you can give tarot readings for pets. However, it will be more complex than sitting at a table with someone shuffling your cards and then pulling them for the other individual. You also cannot call your pet to do a tarot reading for them or go on video chat online. If you are going to read the tarot for your pet, then you will have to do it differently than you would with a human. Since animals do not communicate in ways that you do, you already know that. Now that you can give, now that you know you can give Fluffy or Fido a reading, let's go over how you can do this.
All right.
Who names their dog Fido anymore? That just seems like
it's pretty old school,
old name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how to use tarot to connect with your pets. When you read tarot, you have to formulate a question, and unlike traditional tarot readings, you would have to formulate the question that Fluffy or Fido would answer. A tarot is an excellent way to interpret your pet's thoughts and feelings on something particular. For example, if your dog is acting very strange and it is not as affectionate as they usually are, but they don't seem to be in pain and are eating well, then you will want to know what your dog is feeling. However, this is essential to understand. You never want to use tarot as a substitute for the vet. Even if your pet is eating well, your pet could still be uncomfortable. But if your pet's veterinarian says the animal is fine, you can do the tarot reading. Tarot can help improve the animal's life so you can understand what they need and provide it for them. So let's review a spread that can help you communicate with your animal. Now, as you just saw earlier, that was a one-card pull. For the pet, just by the dog, pointing their nose at it. And you can train your dogs to do that. That's not like something crazy. Yeah. But if you don't want to go that route and you want to get a little bit more in depth, they're suggesting a 4-card tarot spread for your pet. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, the more cards you pull, the more information you're going to have. So this one right here, it says, here's a 4-card tarot spread for pets to help you understand what they need from you, which can help you communicate with them. All you need to do is horizontally lay the cards, whereas 1 card is on the left, card 2 is on the right of that, card 3 is on the right of card 2, and card 4 is on the right of that. So a typical left to right kind of spread.
Yeah.
The first card represents a situation from the perspective of your dog or cat or other pet. Remember that pets can sense energies from something differently than you do, so it is essential that you can get perspective from your pet. Next, card 2 shows the aspects of the situation your pet likes or accepts, and card 3 represents the aspects your pet does not want or accept. Finally, the 4th card indicates what your pet would likely say to you about the situation. This is a straightforward spread. You may want to remove the major arcana from the deck because pets are not affected by significant life-changing events, whereas the day-to-day stuff affects them more, so you may choose the minor arcana for pet readings. Oh, that's interesting.
Makes sense. I like that.
So if you decide to use the major arcana for your pets, however, use the most basic interpretations they give you, and you will interpret the minor arcana suits for your pet as follows. So you can use the major arcana, but they're suggesting take that out. They're not on the fool's journey. Look for, the emotions or the passions or the problems or stuff like that. And that's what they're here to mention right now. So if you pull a wand for your pet, it represents passions, desires, and wants. If you pull a sword for your pet, it could stand for problems, obstacles, and challenges. If you pull a cup, it could stand for your feelings or your pet's feelings and emotions. And then finally, the pentacles, which is usually represented by abundance or money or some kind of gain, right? But for pets, they don't give a shit about money. So for pets, it could be stability, food, or anything else that brings comfort, which I feel like makes sense because an abundance of money would definitely make you comfortable, right? So it says, however, that is entirely up to you on how you want to read for your pet, as you can still use all the cards and find creative ways to use the major arcana and court cards. So let's do a sample reading. I love that they give examples of this too. So I think that whenever you give like proper examples like this, it helps, the interpreter and the reader, get to the core of what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
It says, let's do a reading for a 4-year-old poodle named Bella, who is very mopey after his owners had their first baby. After the couple married, they adopted Bella when she was 2 months old. They were the only ones Bella knew, as they spent time house training her, crate training her, and they bonded as they became Bella's pet parents. However, the couple was expecting, and Bella sensed things were changing then, but her demeanor did not change all that much. Though when they had the baby, Bella started becoming depressed, withdrawn, and she even became snappy when they brought the baby near her. It is not rocket science to understand that there is a new baby and no other children. Pets that have been with their owners for much longer will struggle with the change. So let's do a tarot reading to see how Bella is feeling.
Oh, all right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So the card 1 that they pulled, this is going to represent Bella's perspective. So card 1 is the 7 of Wands. And as we read earlier, the Wands is going to represent your passions, desires, and wants. So that card, the 7 of Wands, it says the first card shows the issue from Bella's perspective, and the 7 of Wands comes up, which indicates that she is in a place where she feels that she must defend her territory. Therefore, she is constantly on guard, which is not a surprise considering that a new living being suddenly entered her home, and she has trouble handling that. Therefore, her growling when the owner when the owner brings the baby near her reflects this, as she is heavily in defense mode.
It's a total dynamic change, dude.
Yeah. So it's interesting that that's the card that you would pull, because remember, the first card represents the perspective of them. So them being animals, I can't imagine that they're thinking outside the box too often. They probably have that one main narrow kind of perspective of, I'm sure there's more to it, but, for the most part, I imagine that they're in that, one perspective kind of mode. So this probably would tell the majority of the story if you're seeing it from their perspective.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So card 2 that they pulled represents aspects of the situation that Bella accepts, which would be the 9 of Swords. So card 2 shows the aspects of the situation that Bella accepts, and the 9 of Sword card comes up. It is hard to imagine that any living being would accept being anxious all the time, but perhaps even though Bella is worried about this upheaval in her life, she also sees that she is still in the home with her humans. Animals cannot think abstractly, and they don't have the reasoning ability to think in terms of, well, this is a bad upheaval, but things will get better soon.
There you go.
Right?
You were just saying that. Right. Yeah.
However, Bella must intuitively know that she is not leaving. She's not leaving it just because there is a new being in the pack. So, all right. So card 2 showed you a little bit of that. Card 3, which was the 5 of Cups. And this is aspects of the situation that Bella does not accept, which is the core of the problem, right?
Yep.
So, card 3 reveals the aspects of the situation that Bella does not accept, and the Five of Cups emerges. She is clearly grieving over the fact that she is not taking up the spotlight anymore and feels that the baby has replaced her. Therefore, that explains why she is mopey, sad, and not herself anymore. And again, that is what you would expect when a new baby comes into the home, where the pet is the one that takes up the spotlight. Spotlight's not being shined on old Bella anymore as much.
A little neglected. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I like that. So the fourth card in this spread, card 4 shows what Bella wants to say about the situation. So these are all different aspects, right?
I'll get rid of the baby. I was here first.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever seen Boss Baby? Same situation.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So finally, card 4 shows what Bella wants to say about the situation, and the Six of Pentacles comes up, which means that she is trying to tell her humans to just give her as much love and time as they do for the baby. She wants their love, time, and reassurance that she is not going anywhere. She's scared of being replaced. Makes sense, dude. Yeah. So therefore, it is not a surprise that Bella is anxious, sad, depressed, or becoming more territorial, and that is how pets are. That's how the pets are when a new baby is at the home, especially if no other children exist there. It would be less likely of an issue if the couple has more children, because Bella would be used to new babies coming into the home, and she would probably have a playmate, the first child, to keep her company. But the first time is always rough. So. Yeah, pretty cool, right? But they do have one more thing that they want to bring up here. It says, if you can get a tarot deck for your dog to use specifically for your dog, you can do that. But should you give it to them? I mean, I think that's a pretty obvious answer.
Yeah, probably not.
That would not be advisable. They could end up chewing up the box and ruin the cards if you leave it near them. Your dog will only see it as a chew toy, therefore it's not a good idea to keep it within reach.
Right.
I don't think it takes a brainiac to put one and one together there.
It's not going to just start shuffling and be like, all right, who's next? You know what I mean?
Hero, this must be for you. But you can use a specific deck for your dog. For example, you can use the Rider-Waite deck to get tarot cards such as the Magical or Wise Dog Tarot. So they got, a million different tarot decks nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it necessarily matters what tarot deck you use. It's still the same 78 meanings. But it is interesting how maybe you wouldn't use your deck for your animals. You know, like if you're trying to make this deck, like a specific deck only for your animals, then maybe it adds a little bit of that magic and a little bit of that energy, because now the deck is communicating and you can communicate with the energy of the deck, and the deck knows this is for the animals. I get it.
Right. Go get one of them Five Below decks. You know what I mean? Use that for your dog.
Yeah, $5. No big deal.
Yeah.
So interesting. And so there's plenty of different aspects, plenty of different things that you can do for pet mysticism. And that is just one of them. The tarot, right? Pretty freaking cool. I plan on giving my dogs a little bit of a tarot reading later. Just why not?
Of course, dude. I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah, so the next aspect of how you can incorporate your pets into your mysticism or your magical works is pet astrology. So did you know, so you're an Aquarius, I'm a Taurus. Well, your pets, if you know their birth, at least their birth month, then you would be able to get their astrological readings. And I thought that it was interesting because actually my wife brought it up, and she was like, oh, I wonder if like pets, and this is actually the inspiration for the episode, because she was like, I wonder if pets can, you can get their astrological readings, and she was like, oh, I bet Fatty is a Scorpio or a Gemini because he's a bit of an asshole or something like that. And she looked it up, and sure enough, there was something there. So, so right here, cool. Pet astrology. It says, astrology plays an important part and role in your pet's life, be it a cat, a dog, a parrot, a pigeon, a horse, etc. Ever wondered why your dog or cat behaves differently? The answers could be determined by their date of birth and how astrology affects their character. You'll have an easier time in raising your pets if you understand what makes them what makes them who they are and how their basic behavior will evolve depending on their astrological sign. If you just got a new pet for your home, here's a great way to know what to expect out of them and how you should behave to them so that you can get on well with each other. So
I gotta find out what Lola is, because she's crazy, man. Like, she's super loving, dude, but she'll just start barking out of nowhere, and there'll be like a cat on the wall out back, and she'll bark and like she wants to kill that thing, and it's like, God damn it, man. You're just sitting there watching a movie, all of a sudden she just goes off, dude. So I wonder what she is. I really do.
Well,
I just asked my wife, actually, so we'll see when she's born.
Okay. My dogs are relatively young. My golden lab, I think, is like 11 or 12 weeks old, like 3 months old or whatever it is. My dog Fatty, he's like a year and a half old or something like that. But I was there for his delivery. And then, just because whenever we got our puppy, the golden lab, he was only like 4 weeks old, dude. I don't even know how this dog escaped or if somebody dropped it off somewhere or something like that. People do that kind of shit. It bugs me whenever it's like, oh, well, we can't afford to give the dog shots and we can't afford to, to raise these dogs. Let's just drop them off somewhere. I'm like, you soulless POS. But anyway, we have the animal astrology. So we're going to go through the signs and you'll be able to see which sign. And honestly, I think you can kind of reverse engineer this as well. So if you don't know your pet's birthday, maybe the readings of the sun sign characteristics would be able to lead you in the right direction.
That makes sense.
So if they are an Aries, and this is your typical dates, so this is March 21st to April 20th. So if your dog is an Aries, it says Aries, or your dog or cat or animal, whatever it be. Aries cats and dogs are born to be leaders in their territory. They try to boss the other pets in their immediate neighborhood. No other pet can dare to bully them. They cannot be easily put under a leash. They call for attention. If not given adequate attention, they are likely to become rebellious, stubborn, and disobedient. When pampered, they do not hesitate to show back their gratitude. It is a little difficult to get them under your words. They are known to be territorial and defend the same with all their might.
All right, so that's probably Lola.
Yeah. Just right off the bat.
Her middle name is Loca, so it's Lola Loca.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
That's like female crazy, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Well, Loca. Yeah.
Okay. So the next one, maybe you have a Taurus dog or a Taurus pet of sorts. It says Taurus pets are known to be the lazy ones. Some snacky food and good music shall see them to be couch potatoes. They are particularly fond of soft music. They love a luxurious life, just as their adult counterparts. They tend to put on some weight with age. They are fond of gentle and warm surroundings where they can be around while their time away. That's a weird sentence. Anyway, oh, by the way, I didn't name this website. It's findyourfate.com.
All right.
So yeah, pretty interesting. It says they tend to put on, or they are fond of gentle and warm surroundings, and they do not give up a fight easily. Taurus pets love the best things in life. Oh, okay. I can agree with that. I'm a Taurus myself.
Yep.
So Gemini. So Gemini is from May 21st to June 21st, and Gemini pets have unbounded energy. They like to entertain their masters and get the attention of outsiders easily. They mostly bag the trophy in dog competitions. Gemini pets are charming, very domestic, but sensitive too. Usually, curiosity gets them into unwanted troubles. They are also known for their petty pranks. They get along with any other pet and can be trained easily as they are fast learners. Okay.
All right.
Gemini energy right there. Cancer, from June 22nd to July 22nd. Cancer pets are overly sensitive. They compel to be taken as one among our family members. They crave for attention. If scolded, they lose their mood and retreat to a corner. They crave for attention, and if left unnoticed, shall sulk and whine. Cancer cats are nocturnal ones, and their mood changes with the phases of the moon. Oh, that's interesting. They never get into a fight and are very timid. They run away from trouble and like to be pampered and cuddled by their new owners. Cancer pets become friends for life. Okay, you want a Cancer pet? That sounds good.
Yeah.
So what about the Leos from July 22nd to August, or July 23rd to August 22nd? It says, Leo pets are born leaders and they have a royal tint in their behavior and movements. They have a pride in them, obviously, the lion. They are known to be arrogant. On the contrary, they are also friendly and gregarious. Nobody dare to challenge their authority. Leo pets are loving and faithful and demand their owner's attention 24 hours a day if there are other pets in the household. They have a good memory and make good pets, particularly if there are small kids at home, because they will take good care of them for you. Okay, Leo, shout out. The Virgo from August 23rd to September 22nd. It says Virgo pets are very hygienic and demand a spick environment around them. Spick and span, I'm thinking. They like to be clean always and are ready to take a bath at any time of the day, which is what most of the pets hate. Virgo pets are particularly demanding. They avoid working and prefer to lay around most of the day. They make a big fuss around dinner time. They are not much fond of seeking attention. Okay. And they are prone to allergies and hence maintain caution. A strict diet is to be followed for them, or else they'll get an upset tummy, possibly. So the Virgo. Next, you got the Libra from September 22nd to September 23rd to October 22nd. Libra pets communicate their feelings to the owners through their eyes. They are restless and indecisive creatures. They have finicky manners and test the patience of the owner. They shall do anything if they want to get attention. They are very affectionate and like the company of other pets as well in the house. They are known to be flirts and cannot be accommodated into a particular routine. Their nervous nature usually lands them in troubled waters. The Libra. All right. Nextly, we have the Scorpio. Scorpio pets are loyal and very entertaining. They keep their owners in a good mood. They are very much attached to the home. They have the ability to read people's minds and they easily sense danger. They're loners and are rarely found inside the house. They live in a world of their own. Scorpio pets are called as wanderers of the zodiac. They are frightening to other pets. Scorpios are also charming creatures. They are proud and they're also proud at times. So, okay. A little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde situation with the Scorpio there.
Right.
Next, we have the Sagittarius from November 22nd to December 21st. The Sagittarius pets are full of boundless energy and with strong nerves. They are fun-loving creatures. Sagittarius pets are very good at keeping a young at age. As they grow up, they may become a little bit temperate. They are also the most accident-prone members of the zodiac, the Sagittarius are. They easily get into trouble because of their clumsy nature. They love to be loved and give back the same to their owner. Sagittarius pets are cowards and mostly run out of any serious fight. They like adventure. Yeah, makes sense. So just to throw it out there, my fatty, he is a Scorpio. Okay. So makes sense for the Jekyll and Hyde. He's a very loving, loyal dog, but he's a little antsy from time to time.
Sometimes.
And then my gold lab Scout is a Sagittarius. Clumsy to a T, dude. Like perfect explanation. And I thought that was pretty interesting about how, the astrology actually does line up for the personalities of the pets too. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I mean, it still trips me out to find out that these horoscopes line up to humans, like every time I look it up, dude, like my horoscope or just the general overall arching theme of my horoscope, I'm like, man, like, why is that? Like, I mean, I don't even care how it works, but like, I'm just so fascinated that it does, Just
that's
like
the thing.
when you were born and the lining of the or the alignment of the planets, it's like, the fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude, but it does make sense. We've talked about that upon conception, there's a jolt of light whenever the sperm meets the egg, and I would think that would have to be influenced by the the layout of the stars at that particular moment, and that's probably for all life forces out there. Like, so I bet you could even plant a couple seeds, and maybe your first sprout of a flower or a vegetable or something like that, you'd be able to be like, oh, this one's a Sagittarius, it's going to need a little bit of help or something like that, right?
A little clumsy, right.
So it's cool, all the different ways that you can connect with nature and connect with your pets. And this is something that I think has been forgotten over time. Most people just view pets as just pets. Oh, no big deal. They go outside, they eat shit and sleep all day. That's about all they're good for. Not to say that that's how people look at pets, not all people. But knowing that you can connect with them in more personal type of ways, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's been times, where I'll smoke a little bit and all of a sudden, like, I'm like so much more empathetic, and then I'll go and pet my dogs and give them like a little extra love because I felt like maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to them. And like, there's definitely something to, when you give that attention to your pets, man.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like they start to glow and they start to emanate, and you feel that almost the vibration of the room after you give them a little bit of love is just shifted a little bit. If nothing else, there's a little bit of change in the vibration of the environment around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they really appreciate it, Like, I just feel like they're like, oh, like, you're just giving me this extra attention right now. And like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. So that was Sagittarius. Next one we have is Capricorn. It says Capricorn pets are December 22nd to January 19th. Capricorn pets are found to be wiser when compared to the other pets of their age. They are also known for their proper behavior and keep the house in order. Capricorn cats love to sleep endlessly. They put on weight as they have a bend for food. They have a bent for food. Okay.
All right.
The Capricorns are stubborn and hate to be disturbed from their place. They are said to be self-centered, but hate to be alone. They give a good company for kids and playing. So, shout out to the Capricorn pets out there.
All right.
Nextly,
a little like bear, actually.
Oh, might be.
Yep.
Nextly, we have Aquarius from January 20th to February 18th. Aquarius pets are gentle creatures. They sense the moods of their owners and act accordingly. They have a liking for water, and taking them to a bath is very easy. They are very friendly and intelligent. Aquarius cats are very temperamental. Training them is not an easy affair. They like to poke their noses into anything to get their way. And Aquarius pets are lovers of food. They usually, this usually lands them in unwanted illnesses. So they're just going to go around eating anything.
Getting into whatever, right?
And finally, we have the Pisces pet from February 19th to March 20th. It says Piscean pets love water and related sports. They are very sensitive and empathetic and easily sense their owner's mood. Once they develop a liking for a particular person, they shall stick on it for life. They are accident prone. Piscean cats are hyperactive and impulsive in nature. Piscean pets change their moods often that it is difficult to understand them. They love luxury and do not need much space. A change of environment shall make them sulk to a corner, but for that they are gentle and loving pets. So,
all right, good to know.
Check out your pet's astrology. Maybe you can understand them a little bit more. Yeah, dude. So, and there's so many things that you can do to incorporate your pets into this spiritual realm as well, and develop a closer relationship, develop a closer bond, understand them at a more core level that isn't just so on the surface. And so that was astrology. So it's pretty cool. You can learn, tarot for your pets. You can learn astrology for your pets, but how about a little witchcraft for your pets?
Oh, okay. All right. This is a little surprising, but of course.
Yeah. So this is by one of our favorite websites, theoccultwitch.com. It says three quick and easy spells for the animal-loving witch. Witches and animals just go together. Whether it's the shape-shifting legends of old-school witchcraft or the familiars of modern witchy movies, we've always had a reputation for being a little closer to the animal kingdom than your average Joe. There's good reason for this. Witches tend to be very interested in the well-being of those around them, and for us, that extends not only to our human community, but also to the animals, plants, and environment around us. For many of us, this means having a deep connection to our pets. Hell, what other path can you actually include your pets in your spiritual life? Whether your furry friend is a cat, a dog, a horse, a rabbit, or something a little less furry like a bird, a snake, a tarantula, your animal companions are probably a huge part of your life. Today, we're going to celebrate the important critters in our life with a few spells designed just for them. Let's go, dude.
Oh, all right. All right. Maybe I can do a spell to get Lola to just like chill out a little bit, you know?
You might be able to. I imagine there's going to be something to do with a full moon for that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, keeping our pets in mind as we do spell work is incredibly important. So, all these spells are designed without the use of smoke, essential oils, or herbs that could potentially harm them.
Okay.
Makes sense. So, if you are just getting a new pet to the house, you want to be able to incorporate them into whatever your life is, right? Like, it's not just about bringing a pet to the home. It's about, molding your schedule and your little tisms around your pet. So certain times that you eat, certain times that you go to the shower, certain times that you let them out, certain times of the day that you feed them, and just incorporating all together. Maybe you just want them to get up on the couch and watch a movie with you, right? So it's a lot for a new pet to take that on. And so if you're trying to mesh and kind of intertwine your lives a little bit and you want it to be pretty effortless, especially with a new pet coming into your house, this is a spell to welcome a new pet.
All right.
So these are the things that you'll need. A cleansing crystal like smoky quartz or citrine, they say, a rose or clear quartz, a candle of any color, a carving tool, so a little, what was that knife? Starts with an A.
Acclimate.
Athame. That's what it was.
Athame. I said, okay, right.
Yeah.
I almost had it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, dude, I needed that. I wasn't close until you said that. So maybe a spiritual knife that the witches like to use that they like to call the athame. And then also the final item is some item that belongs to the new addition to the household. So this spell is all about creating an environment of love and support for your new critter. This spell is best performed before you've brought your new friend home, but you can still use it afterwards as well. If you're really into the idea of keeping your pet cozy and comfy, you can perform this spell monthly, even if you've had your pet for years. So not just for the new pet.
Okay. All right.
So begin by cleansing your home. Crystals are one of the safest ways to cleanse when you have animals, since smoke, essential oils, and herbs can all be more harmful to our animals than they are to us. I like to use citrine for this since it gives my home a warm, sunny feel, but whatever cleansing crystal you prefer will work just fine. When your home is cleansed, so what are you just taking the crystal and kind of just going around in every room? Like
the energy? Yeah. Yeah, I imagine that, you would want to cleanse the energy. Maybe someone's getting a support animal, and maybe you were really going through some shit. And so there's some stagnant energy in the house and you're just trying to just cleanse it out. You know what I mean? Just make it fresh. That way it's like a nice baseline.
Yeah, maybe you open up the windows and kind of take the crystal like you would with a sage or something like that.
Yeah.
So when your home is cleansed now and ready to go, get out the rose quartz and the item that belongs to your new pet. This can be anything from a toy to a food bowl to a crate or a terrarium or even a collar. You can work at your altar if you like, but if your pet is going to have an area of the house that is just for them, performing the spell there might work better. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just make sure that while you're working, no critters can get to your spell. This spell does involve burning a candle, and we don't want any singed whiskers. So begin by carving your new pet's name into the candle. You can also carve any words or symbols that relate to how you want the home to feel to your new friend. Maybe hearts, maybe the word welcome, or anything that makes you feel warm and loving toward them. When you're done, set the candle in a holder in front of you. If the object is small, place it in front of the candle with the rose quartz in front of both of them in a line facing you. If the object is larger, like a crate, then you can place the candle and the quartz inside of it, as long as it won't be damaged by the candle or in front of it. Then place your finger or hand on the rose quartz. Imagine how happy you will be to have your new pet come home with you. Feel the warmth and welcoming that you want to give this animal flow through your arm and into the quartz. As you continue to feel this love and excitement for your new pet, feel your energy extend through the quartz, filling it up and overflowing out into the object and further into the candle. Feel each of these objects begin to pulsate with your love and hold on to it. You are programming each of these items to radiate this emotion to your pet so that they will always feel welcomed and loved in your home. Allow the candle to burn itself out, adding more love and energy to the spell as you like.
All right. All right.
That
and,
is
maybe,
so cool.
Maybe you yourself, you're feeling a little nervous about taking on a new pet, and you can do this for yourself as well. Maybe, just experiencing that emotion of acceptance and like everything's cool, calm, and collected, and then when you bring the animal in, then you already know what that feeling is, and you're kind of like in that feeling when you first bring the animal in. So, maybe it extends to that as well.
Yeah, I think that it's mainly like spells like this, and I mean, not even just like this. All spells require intent, like heavy intention. So you have to, whenever you're taking your crystal around, it's probably not going to cleanse the room if you're not, if you're just taking the crystal and just waving it in the air, whatever. But it's your intention that the crystal matches and helps magnify that intention that eventually would emanate from the crystal. You're the generator that is firing this bad boy up, and through that, through you being the generator, your intent is what amplifies its power, I think.
Yeah.
So it says, when you're finished, make sure to get all crystals and candles up and put them away so that your new critter can't get them. Your home is now ready for your new friend.
There you go.
I like it. And dude, there's a boatload of these. These are so cool. And so yeah, let's see the next one, which would be a pet protection charm. So what you'll need is your pet's ID tag, or if there's no ID tag, some charm that you can safely affix to their enclosure. So if they have a cage, maybe you want to get them like a little kind of charm, a ring, a bracelet or something. It could just be like even like a choker chain or something like that you can just hang on the cage or whatever. I'm not advising that, but just that kind of idea. Nextly, you would need a black candle. You would need some hematite. You would need a surface or sheet of paper to draw on, and drawing charcoal. So you would take your paper and charcoal and set them in front of you on your altar. Place your candle on the other side of the paper away from you. In the middle of the paper, draw a large circle. I like to use a plate or a bowl to get a nice symmetrical circle. Charcoal has strong protective properties, so we're going to take advantage of those properties to create a protective talisman for your pet. In the center of the circle, write your pet's name 3 times so that they stack. For example, Lucky, Lucky, Lucky. You're just writing them there 3 times. After that, turn the paper 90 degrees so the names face directly to your left or right. It doesn't matter which. Now write the word safety on top of the names 3 times like you did before, but crosswise so that it covers your pet's name. Okay, so over them, but diagonally in that sense. Or perpendicularly, maybe. So then place the ID tag or charm on top of the words. Set the hematite between the tag and the candle. Now light your candle and envision your pet surrounded by a barrier of warmth, protection, and love. Hold this image for as long as you like. If it helps, you can spend this time writing about the image instead of imagining it. Just be sure to focus on how safe you want your pet to be, not the things that you don't want for your pet. So you're putting out the intention of the good instead of, I don't want
the
this.
fear of what could be. Right.
Yeah, it's like they say, if you're ever trying to quit smoking, like, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smoke. Well, your subconscious only hears smoke, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't know yes and no in that sense. Subconscious mind works very differently as opposed to the regular conscious mind. So, So yeah, where was I here? Oh, it says hematite is a strong attractant. So whatever you write down will come to pass, even if it's something that you don't want. So it's very important to be positive in these kinds of spells.
Okay. All right.
When you're finished, blow out your candle and return the tag to your pet. Fold the paper up so that it's small and place it somewhere safe.
There you go.
All right. Well, now you have that sigil or whatever you just created. Put it up in a safe place on top of a mantle or on top of your fridge or one of the top cabinets or somewhere where it will always be until you move. And like just set it and forget it. And that's the power about magic in general. It doesn't require you to just keep on believing it. These particular spells like this, it's a set and forget. Set the intention out into the universe or into the ether. Now there's records of that in the ether and in the universe, and it's going to magnify it in the ways. But if you're questioning, is this going to work? Do I need to keep on believing it? Do I need to keep on emanating that energy? Now you're questioning the energy of the universe, and why? Why would you do that?
Yeah. Just set it and let go.
That's it, dude. So we'll read one more here. Oh, I think it's the last one. I thought there was more than that. But we'll read one more here. So what you'll need, this is healing for a sick pet. It's a good one.
This would be a big one. This would be a good one.
Yeah, when you see your pet throwing up or eating some grass outside, maybe being a little too lazy, their eyes or whatever, when your pet's sick or not feeling good.
Oh, yeah.
So what you'll need here is a photo of your pet when it's healthy.
Oh. Okay.
All right. A small fabric bag, some dirt, sea salt, thyme, peppermint, and a pen. So you want to take the photo, flip it over, and on the back, write these words on the back of the photo. By my word, I heal all that ails. No sickness may live in this that I love. Then you place the photo into the bag along with the dirt, salt, thyme, and peppermint. Close the bag and hold it in your hands. Imagine your pet at their prime, healthy, vibrant, and happy. Charge the bag under a full moon. I knew a full moon was going to make its way in here somehow.
There it is. You called it, dude.
So charge the bag under a full moon, or if it's too far away from the full moon, I guess, then use a waxing moon. There's certain properties of the waxing in the waning moon. So the waxing moon is getting bigger. So you're incorporating more energy that is growing every day.
Yep.
The next morning, so after you charge it overnight during the full moon or the waxing moon, the next morning, hang the bag near where your pet likes to sleep. And it says, please keep this in mind. It's not a substitute for appropriate medical care. Talking about the vet. Obviously, this is kind of something extra that you do. It's not a heal-all kind of situation.
This and that. Right.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, pretty freaking cool, dude. It's been a little while since we got witchy on this show, but I like it for the pets.
Dude, I'm glad we did the when your animal is sick, dude, because there's nothing worse, dude, when you're just like worried that your dog's gonna die, dude. Like it's a terrible experience, when your dog's just like lethargic and you're just trying to do anything you can to get him or her to drink just a little bit of water, like I've been there, man. It's shitty, man. I wish I would have known about some pet witchcraft,
I mean, yeah, you like knowing that there's something that you can do, and that's all you can do. If you can charge them or help them spiritually in that kind of way, because you got to think about it. Whenever you're sick, like I'm currently sick right now, but I'm trying to maintain a positive attitude. Whenever, if you can transfer that energy, that positive attitude, energy, or positive intent towards them, and that helps them even 1%, like. I mean, why wouldn't you do it?
Right, exactly.
So there's another one here, and this is going to be this is from the website called tarotpet.com.
Okay.
Who would have thought that all this mysticism for pets existed, you know?
But, we should have known. Always
should have known. So this is a little witchy in the sense of it's going to be using the maiden mother crone, the triple goddess.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so this is a complete sacred guide for modern pet parents using the maiden mother crone magic.
Okay.
So Across ancient civilizations, the bond between humans and animals was deeply intertwined with spiritual practice. From Egyptian temple cats embodying divine feminine trinity aspects to Norse wolves guarding the wisdom of the Norns, pets were celebrated as companions in both the mundane and the mystical. This article revisits these sacred traditions and explores how our modern celestial companions continue to guide us through life's cosmic dance, drawing on ancient wisdom and contemporary practice. Let's go. I'm excited for this one. So, the historical foundations, it says an introduction into ancient connections. Animals have long been revered for their spiritual resonance, serving as symbols, guardians, and conduits of divine power. Ancient records show how our ancestors embedded the sacred presence of animals into ceremonies, daily life, and temple rituals, viewing their bond with them as both practical and profoundly mystical. Yeah, baby. So, there are obviously different people from all throughout history. We're going to be covering some of them here. The first one that they want to mention is the Egyptian mysticism. So, I imagine this is going to be more of the feline variety.
Right.
It says, the sacred trinity. Cats in Egyptian temples embodied the triple goddess aspects. And of course, we got to go with my girl, Hathor.
There you go.
Yeah, no. So Hathor, or the maiden energy, it says kittens symbolize fertility and joy, frolicking in rituals, celebrating love and abundance. So that would be the maiden Hathor energy. Isis, which would be the mother energy, which would be the mother cats protected the home, symbolizing nurturing and divine care. And then these are all just like kind of symbols that you can use. So I imagine you're probably going to apply these aspects, you know, if you have that maiden energy of a cat. Maybe it's it's a younger cat kind of thing. Maybe it would have more of that maiden energy, which obviously the kittens, right? It's the youngest. Then you have Isis being the mother cats that protect the home. And then obviously you have the old hag, or the crone wisdom, which would be of the elder felines. And it says elder felines guided the departed through the mysteries of the afterlife. So apply that to the elder-like nature to your cats.
Okay.
So then you have sacred rituals. It says there are moonlight oracle nights. Cats wandered sacred altars during ceremonies, their movements read as divine messages. So if you want to incorporate them into your sacred rituals, you're out under a full moon. A lot of people love doing the full moon rituals and the full moon spells. Really not even just in one kind of mystical tradition. Pretty much all of them incorporate something to do with the moon. So if you're out there performing some kind of ceremony, have your cats out there. And sometimes if you pay attention to their cats, you can read their movements as divine messages, is what this is saying.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Then you have the sistrum rattles. It says the temple priestesses played these instruments to invoke Hathor's joy while honoring feline protectors. Oh. All right. So you would play the rattle, whatever, and you would invoke Hathor's joy while honoring the feline protectors. So
interesting.
Pretty cool. And then you have the solar guardians. It says cats adorned with gold collars and sacred scarabs symbolized Ra's power and the eternal cycle of life. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into, we're not going to read all these, obviously, but there's certain, and I mean, just to look at them here, I mean, there are Norse traditions for the wolves of wisdom. There's Celtic celebrations for deer and the divine. There's Hindu mysticism for the sacred elephant. There's Chinese traditions of the power of the lion. Native American traditions for the wolves as spirit guides. Japanese Shinto practices, the mystical fox. Oh, that's pretty cool. What was the name of that Fox movie that we like so much?
Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think.
Such an awesome
a good
movie.
one. Yeah.
And obvious, and the next one you have is the modern mystical bod, honoring our celestial companions today. So there's plenty of different modalities to this. But is there any one of these that point out to you, such as the Celtic or the Hindu, the Chinese, Native American,
I like to
Norse?
do the Native American, actually.
Makes sense. You live out there in Arizona.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So the Native American ones would be the wolves as spirit guides. They're known as the pathfinders. So wolves symbolize loyalty, courage, and the ability to navigate both physical and spiritual realms, and also known as the moon watchers. They're revered for their connections to the cycles of nature and their role as communicators with the spirit world. I mean, why is it that wolves howl at the full moon?
I think a lot of dogs howl at the full moon. I was just listening to Are We the Crazy Ones, and he was talking about that. Like he would normally take his dog on this particular path, and on this, there was like this one dog that he would normally pass by, and it was just like, behind a gate or something like that, and that dog would normally bark at them, like bark, 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 and then on this particular night, it was a full moon, and the dog was just howling the whole time. And it's like, so I don't know. There's definitely something to it, though.
It makes you wonder if the wolves are connected to some kind of divine mother energy, divine goddess energy that the moon represents, right? Like there has to be some kind of aspect to that, like, are they just howling at a light? No, I don't think it's that simple. I think that they're like the lunar energy is typically the feminine energy, and so maybe it's kind of honoring their mother in a way or something along those lines.
Right. Yeah, dude.
So there are sacred rituals for the Native American traditions, and they have howling ceremonies. It says tribal members mimicked wolf howls to align with their energy and receive guidance. Oh. What is it during the gateway tapes where you're supposed to align with the humming? Resonate.
Like the hemisync?
Yeah, where you're like you hum to resonate at the same frequency of what you're listening to.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine you do that with a howling wolf, it probably plays, some kind of magic.
To you. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. We're all connected in some kind of way, dude. So of course the animals are, and I think the animals are even more connected because like that's all they have is nature for the most part, especially a wolf, and so they're definitely connected to whatever that is.
Yeah, for sure. And they say actually all dogs come from the wolf. Like the evolution of the wolf,
Right.
people were
Just think
breeding
about
them.
that when you look at Fatty over there.
I know.
How did that happen?
This dog with a wiener body and a boxer head. What
are you?
So that is interesting. And then for the Native American tradition, they have totem meditations. It says wolves were featured in totem poles as protectors of the tribe and its wisdom. I like it, dude. This stuff is so cool. Like, it's just, look, maybe certain things aren't for you, but if you hear some kind of way that resonates with you of how you can connect with your animals in another type of way, I mean, that's pretty valuable information, I think.
Yeah, dude. And, when we go over this information, it gets me to think as far as like all of the different belief systems and cultures and why certain people do the things that they do. It's just like almost wired into our DNA or, whatever it is that makes us, to do these types of things, whether it is worship a god or to put a totem up and put a wolf on there. And like, it's just, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just this underlying thing of humans that just makes us do these kinds of things, and it works.
I mean, look, the animals have been revered for a very long time and stood as symbols. So, like, even think about like Game of Thrones. I mean, I know you never watched that, but like, the one house they have the wolf, and that's like their sigil. And so, if you would have it on your flag, that's what your house represents is the wolf. Yep. And so, going into battle, if you have that wolf on your flag, maybe you have a little bit of that dog in you. A
little bit of that energy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, pretty interesting. So, moving on, our boy, the Big Grimbowski, recently learned how to do animal Reiki. And I find that so fascinating, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, Reiki in general is pretty awesome. And I know it sounds kind of silly, just to see somebody putting hands and, they're taking bad energy out. Like if you're to the non-believer, it looks kind of weird, right? But to the people that believe and can have the intent of going and sitting at a Reiki table with a Reiki practitioner or a Reiki master, and them kind of being able to sense the energies of your body and work on the energy that needs help, and maybe bolster up certain energy that you need, and you can feel really energized by that. And these are ancient traditions. The Reiki, it goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years, I would venture to say.
Yeah, dude, I would be down to do something like that. And I know that there's people that do it like remote, and you've seen those videos where they're like working on you and everything else, and that's cool, and that probably does work, but for me personally, I feel like it would just need to be like an in-person type of thing, for me to be like, yeah, we're actually doing something.
Sure. I mean, but the thing is, and I do understand that, like, I used to think the same thing. Like, whenever I first started doing the past life regressions, I wanted them all to be in person, because you feel like you're connecting and you're in the same vibration of the room that is encompassing both of you, and you kind of can catch a vibe without hearing somebody's words. And so there is that facet of it. But whenever you understand that, like distance and separation and time are all an illusion, and you are an energetic being, and that person is an energetic being, then time and distance would be the illusion. So you wouldn't necessarily need them right in front of you for that.
No, I'm not saying that you would need that. I feel like it's just like, it's my mind that would tell me like, oh, I don't know, maybe you need to do this in person, and that's a me problem, not like a Reiki problem.
I mean, to be honest, that's how probably most people would think. Right?
Yeah.
So whether you're doing it remotely or in person, these are 5 easy Reiki techniques to try with your dog. This is from the website called Dogs Naturally Magazine.
Okay.
All right, so the typical day for my 2 dogs starts with a big hug, a hearty breakfast, and a treat in a morning Reiki session. And it's tough to say which ritual they enjoy the most. Reiki for dogs has the power to soothe, heal, relax, and energize. It has become a regular habit in our household, and your dogs may dig it too. So what is Reiki for dogs? Reiki's an ancient Japanese healing practice. It involves the channeling of natural healing energy from its divine source into a subject. It's believed the energy, or the divine energy, enters the Reiki practitioner through the crown chakra. This chakra is located at the top of the head. It then flows through the practitioner and out through the palms of the hands. Dude, I mean, we've experienced this during so many different meditations too. Like, like you can feel that pouring of light that comes in through the crown. Like, you can actually feel it.
Yep.
So if you can guide that energy, let it go through your body and out through your hands, and put it, on your dog in that kind of way. I mean, dude, call it whatever you want. I've already tried it,
actually. Since we've learned about Reiki and everything else, I've actually tried it on my dog to like chill her out a little bit, just calm down, look into her eyes, like everything's all right, everything's cool, But
yeah.
It didn't work. I don't know if it worked though. She's so crazy.
Some people would probably say if it works, well, it's placebo. If it doesn't work, that's because it's woo-woo, right? And so the logical mind is always going to point that out, because the logical mind just can't understand, it can't grasp the concept of energy coming into you, because the logical mind takes things logical, materially, physically. I don't see a light. I can't feel a light, right? But whenever you understand that you can receive it vibrationally, and as long as you have the intention and the belief is a huge thing whenever you're working with energy. You not even belief, you have to know that this shit is happening, right? Yep. And maybe you need to maybe it starts out with belief. Maybe it starts out like, oh, you know what? I believe that this energy is coming through. And then through time, you begin to know that it's really happening. And that's what we've discovered.
I think that's probably the biggest thing. There was something that happened, actually, if I may. My foot was hurting really bad. I started this new job, and I'm on my feet a lot, and I got to wear like these big steel toe boots, and they're pretty uncomfortable. And so we were about to go to bed, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, I need you to put all of your intentions on healing my foot, and I'll do the same thing, And so anyways, I was going to bed, and there was this weird thing that happened where I felt like I was like in between, like awake and starting to dream, that weird in between moment. And I shit you not, dude, I felt like I could hear my wife's voice, like chanting, like almost like you would hear if somebody was like healing you or in some type of ceremonial circle type thing. And So the next day, I asked her, I was like, hey, did you remember to keep your intentions on healing my foot? She's like, oh, hell no, I just went to sleep. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe that was just me. But then I was thinking maybe it was her higher self that was like, say less, I don't know.
Probably.
It was pretty weird.
Well, I mean, and that goes back to the aspect of doing a spell and then forgetting about it, set and forget kind of thing. And, we don't fully understand what goes on in the ethereal realms or in the other dimensions or in the other densities. Maybe all it takes is a nudge and it causes that ripple effect that goes out throughout eternity. It could be something like that. That's why they say prayer is such a powerful modality. Meditation, such a powerful modality to align yourself with the vibration that you're trying to achieve in this material reality. Like these things have a way of emanating from you. If just look at yourself as you're this like divine source. Right? Like, look, and if that's a step too far, look at yourself as you are a literal spark of God, right? And that spark of God is like an infinity stone. Like, it is all encompassing, it's all powerful. Yes, it might be tiny compared to the whole, but for your like your surroundings just in your area, you know that power is enough to create and heal and do all of these insane magical things that can emanate from your body, especially if you align and attune your body to a specific vibration or specific frequency. Like this is mysticism. Like this is the occult in a way. And by the way, I think that the occult, I think that it gets a really bad name from a couple of bad actors. People will look at, how the Mayans used to sacrifice. They'll look at how Aleister Crowley used to be, super into like satanic worship and shit like that. And you can make a case to where there's a turd in every spiritual and religious punch bowl, right? You could do that, but that's not all. That's not everything.
That's not everybody.
If there is bad, there has to be a good. That's the yin and the yang. Think about it like this. If you went to church your whole life, well, there was God, but then there was also the devil. There was angels, but then there was also demons. And so there has to be this union of the light and the lack thereof. And so, just think about that kind of stuff whenever you're trying to convince your logical mind of these certain things. Like, the duality has existed for all of time, and it will continue to always exist, that duality. That's just the nature of this physical beast that we live in. It just
has to be. It just has to be. You can't have one without the other.
Yes, absolutely. And also I would say that, getting into one of the Hermetic principles, that it would absolutely apply to Reiki. And that is as above, so below. Yeah. Okay. So if you are putting yourself, the above self, the higher self, the spiritual self, and you're trying to take that energy and transmutate it into the physical world out of your hands and onto another being, then you can actually duplicate that energy from the higher to the lower of which you're trying to heal or whatever it is you're trying to do.
Bring that into this dense realm. Right.
Yes. Yep. So let's get back to this Reiki for dogs. So it involves the channeling of a natural energy from its divine source into a subject. It's believed that the divine energy enters the Reiki practitioner through the crown chakra, which I had already read. I'm just kind of catching up here.
Yep.
This chakra is located on top of the head, then it flows through the practitioner and out of the palms of the hands. There are several dog chakra points. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
But why wouldn't there be?
Right.
Just energy centers, including the crown, the brow, the throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. So they have a brow one in there, which is pretty cool. That's
I'm always rubbing on the brow. You know what I mean? I'll rub on Lola's forehead, and she just like closes her eyes, and she loves that shit.
I mean, the brow, the third eye, same thing.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, oh dude, my dog Fatty too. Oh my God, he just loves that right in between the eyes, right there, dude. They love that shit. So it says the practitioner doesn't contribute or generate any energy on her own or their own. Instead, they act as a vessel through which Reiki can flow to its designated target. As we were saying, you're the generator and you're emanating this energy out. So anyone can become a practitioner by undergoing what's known as Reiki attunement. Here, a Reiki master channels special energies into the student. The master opens the way for the student to channel Reiki healing energy themselves. Laying the hands on a specific location can help focus the Reiki on that particular part of the body. Reiki is intelligent energy with a mind of its own, and it goes exactly where it's needed. It can travel over great distances across the world or small bounds across the room. It can even go into the past or future to help heal previous trauma or pave the way for tomorrow's endeavors. Reiki is also smart enough to know how much energy. It's impossible to overdose on energy or otherwise cause harm. Think of Reiki for dogs as a natural supplement, kind of like a daily vitamins packed with nutrients. I like
a little
it.
Boost. Yeah.
So what Reiki can do for your dog? The benefits of Reiki may not always be obvious, either in dogs or humans, but there are many to be had. Reiki can help with easing pain, boosting the immune system, decreasing healing time after surgery or illness, remove emotional or psychological blocks that are impeding physical health, reduces stress and promote relaxation, enhance well-being, and strengthen the bond between practitioner and the subject. So recently, my dog Fatty, we just got him neutered. And he wasn't a fan of that,
Right.
I can imagine that he probably wouldn't
be either. Right.
I wouldn't be either. Right.
Yep.
And so he was in some serious pain. They sent him home with some pain medication, and I got him these little CBD treats and, just help him knock out a little bit. But I noticed that he was the happiest when you lay hands on him. I mean, this is my boy. Like, this is it's a family dog, but he's my dog. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so him getting that love and affection and energy from me just by, just petting him and rubbing him and scratching him and whatever, like that is the most potent, I would say. Like, we all have, if you have dogs or cats or whatever in your house, you always seem, at least I always seem to connect more with one than anybody else. And, I love my Scout too. He's just a little puppy. He's growing into his ways. So, but Fatty, that's my boy. So maybe if you have a deeper connection with an animal, maybe that power is even enhanced more.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
So what to expect in a typical Reiki session? It says, a Reiki session for humans involves a comfy massage table to lay on. The practitioner lays their hands on different areas of the subject's body. Sessions usually last about an hour. At the end of a session, the practitioner performs a sweeping motion around the subject. This smooths out the energy. It channels all excess energy out the window, door, or otherwise out of the room and back into the universe. A session for Reiki for dogs is a bit different. For starters, dogs aren't usually apt to hop onto a massage table and lay on their back for an hour, obviously. They may also prefer to receive Reiki from a distance rather than have the practitioner touch them. If you got kind of an ornery one,
right.
Alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush. Maybe you don't want to touch the alligator then. Do it from a distance. So you can do it from a distance, it says. A good way to start is for the practitioner to sit on the floor with the dog in the room. Invite the dog to share in the Reiki session if the dog so desires. It's also helpful to let dogs know that they can take as much or as little Reiki as they wish. This lets them know that they have a choice about how much Reiki they receive. If the dog approaches the practitioner and appears to be okay with their touch, the practitioner can place their hands in a series of positions that are comforting to the dog. You don't need a timer to let you know when the session is over. Dogs aren't bashful. They will get up and leave when they've taken in the amount of energy that they need. So then they get into what Reiki has done for their dogs personally. It says, when I invite my dogs to join in my morning Reiki sessions, they immediately come into the room. After I light incense and flip on the music, I lay back on the couch as my dogs take their normal positions. Hyperactive Belgian Tervurian Reggie, never heard of that dog, is a lover who can't get enough pets. Oh, a Belgian Tervurian, and its name is Reggie, I think.
Okay.
That's a cute name for a dog.
Sounds like a cool-ass dog.
Yeah. I never met a Reggie that sucked. Like, Reggies are usually, really cool people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it says he can't get enough Reiki either. He lies by my bedside or on my chest throughout the entire Reiki session. He'll nudge my hands to move them where he wants the Reiki to flow. He my laid back mixed breed, Elmo. They got some cool names for their dogs. Is a rescue with scars and a mangled foot from past abuse. He prefers Reiki from a distance. He usually lies on the floor on his side in the middle of the room. Reggie jumps up and leaves the moment I start the final energy sweep. Elmo stays put. He stays in the same position long after the session is complete. I'd like to say Reiki has calmed down Reggie enough to walk and not put on a leash. That it has healed Elmo's past anguish enough to remove his fear of strangers. I'd like to say it has transformed my hounds into well-behaved beings, dogs that no longer bark at everything that walks by. But it hasn't, and it may never do so, because Reiki has a mind of its own. It's going to do what it needs to do, which is not always what you want it to do. Reiki's job is to do whatever is for the greater good of all, something we humans may not always be privy to. But I have seen instant results when I use Reiki to relax my dogs, especially when they're particularly nervous or upset. I've seen my dogs become calmer when I turn it on during crazy moments to soothe their distress. And you can use it to help your dog at home too. So then they start getting into the different ways in which you do that, techniques for the general relaxation about, targeting the shoulders, the midsection, the back and the chest, and then the head and the chest. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, look in dog or animal Reiki, Matt.
Sure it is.
It's do you believe in magic? Like, this shit is absolutely real, and it requires your belief.
Yeah, well, I mean, your homeboy Jesus, he said we can all do this. So that's his words, not mine.
I mean, he had the healing hands, and he said that you'll be able to do all this stuff and then some. So
right. Just put some hands on,
listen to your boy.
Yeah.
So finally, we're going to end with the astrology, not astrology, numerology. All right. Okay. So numerology, this is by foreverconscious.com. It says, numerology, discover your pet's destiny number. Well,
this should be interesting.
Oh, dude. See what I'm saying? Like, you can apply all the different magical aspects that we've learned throughout the past year and a half and apply almost all of them to your pets, because you're remove the avatar that they're pets or that they're animals. They are an energy. They are also a divine being living in the same time in your space for a reason. So look at them for the majestic creatures that are helping to guide you in this way. And you want to be able to make sure that they're always healthy, that they're not sick, and that they don't have brittle old bones because somebody isn't giving them enough Reiki power. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
A lot of cool things.
They're part of the family too, man. That's how I look at my dogs,
Oh, yeah. So it says, did you know your pet can benefit from numerology's insightful life guidance? Spelling out the letters in your pet's name gives us the opportunity to discover more about what is behind our cat's mysterious eyes or our dog's playful bark. The destiny number in numerology is an aspect of your numerology chart that allows you to see deeper into what life has in store for you. It can show you what is on the horizon and what role you are meant to play. So get to know your pet's destiny with this helpful guide. So the same kind of way, A equals 1, B equals 2, and so on. Whenever you just take the letters of their name and you can break it down and then do a little bit of math on your own. If you don't have the patience for that, there's a calculator for that.
Of course.
And this is the numerology calculator by name. And actually, this is how we decided to land on the Meta Mysteries name, was because it had a numeric value of 1. So it encompasses the 1 itself numerologically.
Yes.
So, how are you going to do this? So, example 1, they use the pet's name Lily, Lily. So, so they have it set up right here, which is actually easier. Like if it's like for example, if your dog's name starts with a J, well, that's the 10th letter of the alphabet. You knock the 0 off because it's really just a placeholder in numerology.
1. So
now you just have 1. The same thing with K being 11. Well, 1 plus 1 is 2. It would have the 2 value. So in this case, Lily, it has L. So L would be a 3 value. right here. So you would use 3, I being 9, L being 3 again, and then Y being 7. So you take 3 plus 9 plus 3 plus 7, and you would equal 22. Now you can look at that and be like, oh shit, divine consciousness right here. This is a super number right here. You got that 22 energy, baby.
Yep.
Or you can look at it another way. You can look at it in this case for the destiny number. And so you would add the 2 plus the 2, and that would be the destiny number would be 4.
Right.
The same thing for another example they make for poly. So 7 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3 plus 7 equals 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. The destiny of the dog named Polly is 8. And you can find these, and this is crazy, dude, like how accurate this is. And I do want to make mention. So if you have your dog like registered, right? I have my dog registered as a, what is it called? Like the anxiety dogs or emotional support dog, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I named him Fatty, but his legal name would be Fatty in my last name. So his name is Fatty Myers, right?
Right.
And so now, since he has a legal name, that's the name that you would use, because it's like, you know, you're adding another name, so it's going to be more energy, and those aspects of those letters are going to make more numbers that are going to, you know, complete the rest of the dog's name.
More detailed. And we just learned about that in the Akashic Records book that we were just going over.
Yeah. And I actually looked it up, and I typed in over on the numerology calculator, I just typed in Fatty, right? And I was like, let me see what happens whenever you type Fatty to see if there's a distinguishable difference here with the life path numbers. All right. So I just calculated the name Fatty. His number is 9 if it's just Fatty, right?
Okay.
In numerology, the number 9 represents creative expression, selflessness, compassion, and tolerance. Number 9 persons are trusted friends, compassionate to others, sympathetic while also energetic, disciplined, and with a strong sense of purpose. Romantic, tolerant, and generous make a warm and loyal significant other. Sometimes they tend to self-adulation, wanting pure attention at all costs, and are prone to possessiveness and moodiness. So I was like, maybe. That could be him, you know, like in so many words. But then you type in Fatty Myers. He's my last name. He's my baby. And that number goes from 9 to, calculate, 4. So now he's a 4 life path energy. This one makes way more sense. So the 4 represents foundation, order, and steady growth. He's very... So if you've ever had a boxer, they are very proud. They stand up like they are soldiers. Like they are perfect, like back alignment. You're never going to have to tell them, stop slouching, Fatty. No, because he's in perfect like angle. You know what I mean?
Right. Proper. Right.
Very, very proper. And that's what they were used for, as like, I believe they were used for like guard dogs at some kind of point to protect the children or something like that, like way back in the day.
Right, like nanny dogs.
Like nanny dogs. Yeah, I think there's actually a couple breeds. I think the pit bull is actually that way too.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So the number 4 persons, this is for people though. So they actually have the pet's destiny number specifically for pets. So this is more for people, this website, which is thecalculator.co, if you're trying to calculate the number without having to do the math. But for a 4 energy, for example, he would be, it says, with a destiny number of 4, your pet is probably very shy. They are likely to hide under the couch when you have visitors over. Your destiny number 4 pet probably brings out a nurturing side of you. They found a way into your life because they knew that you needed something to take care of and fulfill the caregiving side of you. I didn't have any pets at the time that I got Fatty. I needed that. You know what I mean?
Fatty found you, you know?
Fatty found me. Yes. And there's just so many different ways. So if you're trying to figure out your pet's destiny number here, maybe it says a little something. So if you would, Sean, what name are your dogs, like, do they have your last name? Are they registered or anything like that? Or they just have their first name?
No, they're not registered. No, they're not registered.
All right. Well, who do you want to try first? Hero?
Let's go Hero.
All right. Let's see. It's Hero.
Yeah. He's the oldest, so.
Of course, Hero's a number 1.
Of course.
Why wouldn't he be? So let's see what the destiny number 1 is. A destiny number of 1 for your pet means they are very devoted to you. They are loyal and by your side when it counts. Sometimes they can be a little selfish, doing what they can to get the cuddly attention they desire.
Yep, that sounds like them.
Sounds like old hero.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, Lola.
Lola.
Is it Lola?
Yep.
La 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 Lola. Is a 4, so she got that fatty energy, which makes sense.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, buddy. So, I mean, this is really fun kind of stuff, and that way, it's not entirely their aspect of who they are. It's just a little bit more information that you can apply whenever you look at your dog. You'd be like, oh, you got that 4 energy. You know what I'm saying? You got that 1 energy. I already know what kind of energy you bring in.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but it does work, you know?
Yep.
So these are just a few ways in which you can apply mysticism and magic and spiritual understanding to your pets. It doesn't have to be to a dog, doesn't have to be to a cat, doesn't have to be to any specific thing. Maybe you got a tortoise or something like that. Like my mom used to have a tortoise. My God, those things are crazy. But you know, it's just another way to be able to connect with your surroundings and those that you love. And if you can be able to be there and support them or communicate with them or heal them or find out how they're helping you, you know, entering and seeing into other dimensions that you can't perceive kind of thing, like all encompassing. If we care about the magic for ourselves and, you know, the spiritual aspect of ourselves and our family, it should be for the animals too.
Absolutely, dude. And, you know, I believe that our dogs love us more than they love themselves, you know, like they would die for us. And I thought about this as far as when Lola barks so much, you know, I'm like, I wish she wouldn't do that, but I feel like she's supposed to do that. I mean, I don't know how many times we've had people come to our door and I don't even know who it is, you know, and they hear Lola barking and they just leave, you know, they're like, nah, you know what I mean? And so I who knows how many times maybe they've scared some people off that weren't so welcome. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and is she a pit bull mix or a full pit bull?
She's a pit bull, full pit bull, but she was the runt, you know? And so
okay.
she's kind of small for a pit bull, but she's like stout, you know, she's still got that like chest.
Muscular
to her,
frame.
know? She's not scared of nothing, man.
She got that chip on her shoulder of being the runt,
Oh
you know?
my God. Yeah, I think that's what it is, you know, because she's little, she has to put out that extra little bit of energy just to be like, you know, I might be small, but I ain't no one to mess with, you know?
I mean, they say first impressions are a big thing. You know, imagine you're coming into this world as an animal. You don't know what's up, what's down. You don't even know how to have a thought correctly, if there is such a way. Right. And you're around all these other little puppies, and all the other puppies just seem to be a little bit bigger than you. And so now you got to start defending yourself because I'm the brittle one. She's a runt, and it's a girl, so girls are typically smaller than the boys anyway. And yeah, dude. So it's pretty cool how she's kind of carrying that out, almost like overextending it to an extreme sense.
Oh my God. To the extreme, dude. It's embarrassing sometimes how crazy she barks at the wall because there's a dog on the other side. You know, it's like it's the neighbor's dog. It's every single day. You know what I mean? But she's like, you ain't getting one on me. I'm gonna get you. But I bet you if you remove the wall, there'd be no problem. You know, it's like, oh. You know, so
I mean, I imagine if you're living in a post-apocalyptic era, and right. You have, you know, savages that are trying to come and loot all of your shit. Oh, yeah. You know, you would want a dog like Lola in those times.
It wouldn't be a problem anymore. It wouldn't be a problem that needed to be fixed. It's like, oh, okay, good, we good.
Yeah, that's like valuable right there. So, yeah, dude. So, look, I mean, this kind of stuff, it does exist and you can put it into your practice, incorporate your animals, you know, for every kind of thing. Maybe you're just trying to carry out your own ritual and you think that they're going to energize said ritual. Look, there's so many different ways of being able to incorporate them and being able to help them out too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's pretty much all we got. We're going to get into a meditation, but first, Shawno, what is that tarot card, sir?
I got the 10 of Pentacles, my dude.
The 10 of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. We just learned the Pentacles is like, that's the loving, warm kind of energy. So the 10 of Pentacles. Here we go. And for those who are just watching on YouTube for the very first time, we do a tarot reading at the end of every episode. We also do a meditation. However, we're not going to be putting the meditations and the after talk of the conversation or of the meditation. Typically, we'll meditate and then we'll and then we'll converse afterward to see what kind of epiphanies and revelations or whatever happened in said meditation. And usually they are quite mystical AF. So if you want to be involved on that, Patreon or whatever podcast you're listening to, whatever podcast platform, you'll be able to hear the meditation on there. Obviously, the Patreon is the best way if you're interested in meditating with us or meditating with the one out there, because it's not going to be commercially interrupted. I'm sorry, we have commercials. That's just the way it is in the podcast world. And so if you want to be a part of the meditation, come check us out at Patreon. But if not, we do a tarot reading at the end of every episode, and we believe that it embodies the energy of the entire episode. And being is that we just learned how to read tarot for dogs or for your pets, getting the 10 of Pentacles card is pretty interesting. And we have a book here that we like to read it from. It's Guided Tarot for Seamless Readings by Stephanie Capone. It's been Old Faithful here for a little while to get us to understand, what all encompasses into the individual cards.
Yeah, it's been pretty solid.
So, the 10 of Pentacles. The culmination of prosperity has arrived. This enables you to create from a new place of abundance alongside those you love. Come on, dude.
Dude, I was just looking at the imagery too. There's 2 dogs and the dude's like petting the dog on the top of the head.
Whoa. Yeah, raise it up a little bit more. There it is. Yeah, you got the dogs in there. Holy shit.
Isn't that a trip?
No such thing as a coincidence up in here.
What's going on, dude?
So, a card of shared wealth and bounty, the 10 of Pentacles shows 3 generations of a family enjoying themselves in the luscious garden on their property. The family is surrounded by 10 pentacles, showing that they do not have to worry about matters of finance. The 2 dogs are symbolic of loyalty, while the depiction of children, adults, and an old man illustrates the process of maturing that unfolds throughout your life.
That's a trip.
That is a trip. So the spiritual meaning behind it, it says, buying a home or inheriting property or money are all current possibilities. You're also seeing overt generosity from your family or important members of your social circle. You have plenty of love and support to further your dreams, especially when you seek advice from people you respect who are older and wiser. All right.
Solid, dude. It's funny that, I didn't even notice, usually I wait until you're reading the description of the card to really try to, because now that I got the Rider-Waite deck, I've been really trying to look at the imagery as you're reading it. And I didn't even notice that there was dogs on it when I first pulled it. I was like, oh, okay, cool, 10 of Pentacles. That's always a good thing. I didn't even look at it. And as you're reading it, I'm looking, I'm like, holy shit, there's 2 dogs. The dude's petting the dog on the head, and there's a little child, also kind of petting the back of the dog. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, dude. Yeah, putting it on the brow, the chakra.
That third eye massage,
Let's go, dude. Getting a little mystic up in here, baby. So, look, if you enjoy episodes like this, if you found any kind of value in this information, this knowledge, this esoteric understanding, then let us know. And there's multiple ways to be able to let us know that you enjoy this. You can give us a like or a subscribe, maybe leave a little comment on the YouTube video. You can, if you're listening on the podcast, you'll be able to leave a review, leave us 5 stars. You can leave a comment on Spotify. Or the best way to be able to support the show would be to come over to patreon.com/metamysteries. That link is down in the show notes of every episode. And so, yeah, we invite you to come over. If you come over to Patreon, as we said earlier, you'll be privy to joining us every Wednesday night live at 9 p.m. Central. That's something that we do for our supporters. We call them the One. If this is your first time listening, we would love you to become a part of the One and just come on this spiritual journey with us. We can all bring different aspects of understandings and teachings and revelations all together. And so if you have a certain modality that you want the world to know, or there is a certain practice that you want to be able to spread the good news of, we would love to be able to have you on. Or maybe you just have a couple of ideas that you want us to look into something. Let us know there, and you can let us know anywhere for that, leaving the reviews on the podcast, leaving a comment on YouTube, leaving a comment on Spotify, or just come and slide into our DMs on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram at metamysteries. And so, yeah, we appreciate everybody's support and we love you. And now it is time for the meditation. But look, if you can't join us in this meditation, then we just want to say we thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. Thank you for following us on this journey and joining us on this journey. We couldn't be able to do it without your help, and so we express unseen levels of gratitude towards you. And so we just want to say thank you very much. But like I said, if you can't join us for the meditation, then this is where we leave you. And what we like to say is that if pet mysticism came here and taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird.
In a realm where shadows dance with light, through the whispering woods at night, secrets echo through the air, meta mysteries everywhere. Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named. Close your eyes and feel the sound, journey where no bounds are found. Open doors inside your mind, leave the ordinary far behind. Colors swirl and stars align, in the meta mysteries you'll find. Tales of ancient power rise from the depths of crystal skies, where the unseen comes to play. Lost in dreams, you lose the day, chanting truth from ages old. In the unknown we are bold. Let the podcast guide your sight through the veil of silent night. Waves of cosmic whispers flow through the realms you'll never know, parallel in every beat, where the mystic stories meet. In a realm where shadows dance with light, through the whispering woods at night, secrets echo through the air, meta mysteries everywhere. Voices drift on winds untamed, words like spells that can't be named.